Exclusive. Just in. The future of one of the Pernith Panthers' most important players has just taken a new turn, and a statement from the Panthers icon has caught many people by surprise. But before I tell you all the details, Panthers fan, make sure you hit that like button, because right here, you'll be the first to receive the latest and most up-to-date Pernith Panthers news. My fellow Panther. While recent reports suggested that the club had already begun negotiations over a possible contract extension with one of the biggest leaders of Penrith's golden era, Yo himself has now spoken out to set the record straight, and revealed a truth that could leave many Panthers fans feeling uneasy. Negotiations have actually not even started yet. Yo is so much more than just an important player for Penrith. He is one of the faces of the generation that took the Panthers to the top of the NRL, a highly respected leader both on and off the field, and a player who has spent virtually his entire career wearing the Penrith jersey. That is why any news surrounding the veteran's future naturally creates concern among Panthers fans. And now, following rumors that talks over a contract extension had already been taking place behind the scenes, Yo has decided to clear everything up. When directly asked whether he had already started contract negotiations with the Pernith Panthers, the player's answer was short and straight to the point: no, not yet. The statement is particularly surprising because recent reports had suggested that the process was already underway and that the club had begun working to secure the future of one of the most important figures in its squad. But according to Yo himself, that simply isn't the reality at this stage. The veteran explained that he had already spoken about his situation earlier in the year, and believed the negotiation process would follow a specific timeline. I mentioned it at the start of the year. I guess I assumed everyone would go until November 1st, Yo said, making it clear that, at least from his perspective, there was no expectation that discussions would move forward during the State of Origin period. But it was when Yo spoke about his personal preference that Panthers fans received a hugely important message. The veteran made no secret of where he would like to continue his career. "My ideal world would be to stay at Penrith," the player revealed. And that statement will undoubtedly be welcomed with open arms by the Panthers faithful. After all, we are talking about a player who has built virtually his entire NRL story at the club and who has been at the heart of one of the greatest winning eras in recent NRL history. Yo has already played an incredible 281 first-grade games for the Pernith Panthers and was a key part of the club's historic 4 consecutive premierships during its golden era. He understands the Panthers culture better than most, knows exactly what it means to wear the jersey, and represents a direct connection between the generation that built the dynasty and the future the club is now trying to protect. That is why the player's contract situation has taken on even greater importance. When questioned again about reports suggesting that contract talks were already happening behind the scenes, Yo admitted that he had not been involved in any such discussions. "I'd love the conversations to start now, but that's news to me," he said. That statement immediately caught plenty of attention. Yo, however, left the door open by acknowledging that there could potentially be things happening behind the scenes that he simply isn't aware of. "There could be things happening behind the scenes that I'm not aware of," he admitted. In other words, while the player himself has not been directly involved in negotiations, that does not necessarily mean the club is completely inactive. There could still be internal discussions, evaluations, and long-term planning taking place before an official approach is made to the veteran. And this is exactly where the real concern begins for Panthers fans. The club has a series of massive decisions ahead when it comes to player retention over the next 12 months. Yo is not the only star whose future will need attention. The futures of several key players will have to be carefully managed, and any major mistake could put the continuation of the Panthers dynasty at risk. The situation becomes even more complicated when we look at some of the other huge names in the squad. Nathan Cleary, Liam Martin, and Brian Tuo are also contracted through to the end of 2027. That means Penrith will have to carefully balance the salary cap, long-term planning, and the need to keep its biggest leaders while continuing to compete at the highest level in an increasingly competitive NRL. For Panthers fans, there is one unavoidable question: how far is the Pernith Panthers club prepared to go to secure Yo's future? Because while no official negotiations have started at this stage, the player's preference appears to be crystal clear. Yo wants to stay at Penrith. He has made that clear. Now, the responsibility also falls on the club. And this could be one of those moments when the Panthers hierarchy needs to look beyond the numbers and understand the true value of a player who represents an entire era. Yo is not simply a player with 281 first-grade appearances. He is a premiership winner, a leader, and one of the figures who helped build the winning identity that Penrith carries today. Of course, the future remains uncertain. No contract extension has been confirmed, no official negotiations have begun, and, at this stage, there is absolutely no guarantee that Yo will continue wearing the Panthers jersey beyond his current deal. But there is one thing that should certainly give the Panthers faithful some comfort. The player himself has declared that his ideal world would be to remain at Penrith. Now, Panthers fans, the ball is in the club's court. Over the coming months, Penrith will face some enormous decisions and will need to find a way to protect the heart of its dynasty. Keeping Yeo will be one of those decisions. And considering everything this player represents to Penrith, it could be one of the most important decisions of them all. Because one thing is certain, if it were entirely up to Isaiah Yeo, this story would not be ending anytime soon. The Panthers icon wants to stay. The fans want him to stay. And now, all that remains to be seen is whether the Pernith Panthers can turn that desire into a new contract and ensure that one of the greatest leaders of the club's golden era remains part of its future. And you, Panthers fan, do you think Isaiah Yeo needs to be one of the club's absolute top priorities? Do you believe he should finish his career at Penrith? Yes or no? Leave your honest opinion in the comments below, because your opinion is incredibly important. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe, because this is where you'll get all the latest Pernith Panthers news firsthand, with speed and credibility.